Save your children from deceptive conversion. Part 1. We have no objection to the religious customs of Bahais. They have a right to believe in any prophet and God as they wish. However, it is our right to protect our children from their influence and deceptive conversion. No law, religion, or moral system in the world permits the conversion of a child's religion. Children are innocent and only understand the language of love. They are unaware of the hidden intentions, just as they wouldn't know if poison is mixed with candy. Therefore, according to the 1990s Geneva Convention on the Rights of the Child, preaching to children of other faiths is illegal. Yet, this is a fundamental pillar and weapon in the Baha'i practice, a method to increase their own numbers, to turn today's children into tomorrow's Baha'i families, all without being noticed. No other religion in the world preaches to children from other faiths. Only the Baha'is do this. But how? How do people allow their Hindu, Muslim, Christian, and Sikh children to be converted into Baha'i? It happens gradually and imperceptibly. Now listen how. First, the Baha'is establish friendly connections with their neighbors by getting together in the name of prayers, parties, or any other way of socializing with them. After building cordial relations, they invite their children to so-called children moral classes. A young Baha'i girl or boy is chosen as the animator for these classes. It's preferable if it's an attractive teenager. Otherwise, older individuals conduct these sessions. The age group of these children ranges from around 7 to 12 years. Baha'is have a complete course designed for teaching such children. Activities like singing, coloring, storytelling, and games, all under the guise of moral uplifting, appeal to the children as well as their parents. Once a week, these children gather for these moral classes and enjoy activities with their attractive animator. Among Baha'is, there's no concept of hijab. They adapt values of any society they live in, hence they don't seem dangerous. Their girls will shake hands with you, mingle, establish connections, and become mentors for your children. They will listen to them, advise them, and gradually become an indispensable part of their lives to the extent that the children would listen to them more than their own parents. At this stage, these children don't become Baha'i. The written texts of children classes at this stage have minimal mentions of the Baha'i pseudo-prophets. They only praise and idealize their prophets verbally at this stage to avoid being caught and any legal complications. By repeatedly narrating made-up stories about these prophets, they instill affection for them in the hearts of children. These classes continue for 3 to 4 years. By repeatedly hearing stories of these made-up prophets, the children gradually develop a soft corner for them. Children are innocent. They don't usually discuss things at home. Only stories of these false prophets like Bab and Baha'u'llah are mentioned in front of them, and they are not explicitly asked to believe in them. If parents get a hint, they remove their children from these classes on any pretext. However, not all parents are that attentive. They feel it's good their children are engaged somewhere, learning some moral values. Such parents often don't have time for their children. Children would turn out to be like whoever invests time in them. They might show some improvements, since all the drama is done in the name of morality, but alongside, what else they are absorbing is beyond the parents' wildest imaginations. Save your children from deceptive conversion. Part 2. When children turn 12, the Baha'i move them to the next stage of control. It's challenging to control older children under the guise of moral education for a long time. So, during the phase of ages 12 to 15 years, they keep them engaged in the name of empowerment, meaning they are now enrolled in the Junior Youth Empowerment Program. They are taught community service. Obviously, the lesson itself seems to be positive. Otherwise, why would anyone entrust their child to it? The children would be asked to clean local neighborhoods, sing songs about moral topics like love and unity in their community programs, act in stage plays, play guitar together. Youngsters love all this, especially when done in the name of kindness, unity, and humanity. Furthermore, the boys and girls at this stage are also attaining puberty, being attracted to their junior youth animators. With time, the relationships get older, stronger, and more intriguing. Engaging in activities with the opposite gender, boys and girls joking around and having fun, sitting close together without any reservation. All these things are much more attractive and appealing to these young ones than the dry Baha'i teachings. But it's only through the Baha'i programs that they get to experience such proximity. Otherwise, in conservative societies, such mixed-gender mingling and playful opportunities are almost non-existent. Even by this stage, your child has not become a Baha'i. If they already started believing in the false prophets from their heart, then it's your fate. But they usually don't have the courage to openly express it. The Baha'is are in no rush either. To become a Baha'i is more about adopting their way of life, that is, to propagate their religious messages and mention their false prophets to others in a playful manner, under the disguise of love and unity. When children are already participating in Baha'i programs, inviting their non-Baha'i friends to join, then even as a Baha'i, they would be required to do the same. It doesn't matter whether they declare their conversion or not. Better if they don't, as they'll mature within the Baha'i environment. If they declare their conversion at this stage, parents might forcefully bring them home. Consciously changing one's religion isn't bad, but to do so deceitfully, and unconsciously adopting a false doctrine through playful activities in childhood, is nothing but misfortune and criminal negligence by parents. Save your children from deceptive conversion. Part 3. Children are like flowers, and need to be protected like flowers. Educate them and instill wisdom in them so when they grow up, they become whatever they wish to be. Let them choose any path or religion. But entrusting them in their childhood to people whose beliefs, secret ideas, and tactics you are unfamiliar with is nothing but foolishness. Afterwards, when children reach the age of 15, they are advanced to the next stage and are put into Ruhi study circles. Currently, there exist 10 books in which there are many fabricated sayings of their false prophets. At this stage, children are openly taught the Baha'i religion, and at the end of each book, they are required to participate in an activity. At the end of Book 1, the student is required to arrange a weekly prayer gathering where Baha'i prayers are read out for all. The children, who haven't been taught any prayers from their own religion by their parents, slowly become accustomed to the Baha'i prayers. At the conclusion of Book 2, children are required to perform a service because Book 2 is about service. You might be thinking that service is a good thing, but in the Baha'i approach, the reality of everything is different from its appearance. Behind everything is a new deception. Read Book 2 for yourself and you will see what this service is. The meaning of service is to converse with a friend, neighbor, or family member, and invite them to the Baha'i religion and its classes, introduce to them Bab and Baha'u'llah as prophets. That's what service is. Congrats! Your child is a preaching Baha'i now. Book 3 is about creating new children classes by bringing non-Baha'i children to Baha'i classes, and becoming their animator yourself, thus creating a chain reaction for enabling more and more conversions to Baha'i. Here, the seed sown by the Bahais has now become a tree. The fun part is that they have prepared this whole web by combining ethics, love, service, and prayer in such a way that no one points a finger and keeps spreading it by propagating it further. Even if you haven't become a Baha'i yet, surely they won't leave you behind. Book 4 is about the history of their false prophet, Bab. If a child hasn't been influenced yet, he is expected to be influenced by the fabricated and fiction-based stories in this book. Book 5 is also about children classes and is aimed to acquiring advanced skills for managing children classes so that not a single child coming to your class remains without becoming a Baha'i. As we said before, changing one's religion isn't a bad thing, but doing so by being deceived. And unconsciously adopting a false ideology in a playful manner during childhood is nothing but misfortune. Children are like flowers, and need to be protected like flowers. Educate them and instill wisdom in them so when they grow up, they can choose any path or religion. However, entrusting them during their childhood to people whose beliefs and secretive thoughts you are unfamiliar with is nothing but foolishness.